Irish guy, and what were you doing 6 years ago? I mean, all of you probably think I spent June of 2016 sleeping in a street and armed with nothing more than a library card so I've got somewhere to poo, right? I mean, you probably all assume I was rummaging through the bins outside Supermax. I mean, for those of you who don't know what that is, it's a bit like McDonald's if the McDonald's burgers tasted like microwave pigs. But no, I was enjoying the greatest moment of my life. Well, second greatest after finally saying no to my uncle. But lads, we, Ireland, had just beaten Italy to claw our way out of the Euro 2016 group. The winning goal against Italy in the dying moments to see us through the group, that has been immortalised in the Irish Hall of Fame. But that wasn't even the most exciting Robbie Brady goal of the tournament. Not to me. No lads, it's the Euro 2016 last 16 and we're up against France. A national team who I've never forgiven for the Thierry Henry handball. The worst sporting moment of my life. I mean, you don't understand. There are two countries who I want to see us beat at an international tournament before I get stuffed in a coffin. Who are we kidding? The council will probably just turf my corpse into a landfill with old condoms and half-eaten Easter eggs. Wow, that's bleak. But those two teams who I am desperate to beat are England and France. And lads, you don't understand. We were 1-0 up after 90 seconds. Brady tucking a penalty home past Hugo Lloris. We were beating France in their own backyard at half-time. And at the time, it looked like we were on course to play England in the quarterfinals. I mean, you don't understand what my heart was doing at half-time. The levels of excitement. It was like telling a 4-year-old girl she's about to meet Peppa Pig. What was going on in my heart? I'd imagine it was similar to if a diabetic had eaten a whole birthday cake. I mean, the feelings I had, I didn't know whether to nervously vomit all over the table or not. Potentially beating France and England in the same week. Oh, the evil energy inside me. I probably felt a bit like how Scar did when he tossed Mufasa off the cliff. I mean, let's be honest, he most likely had a stiff crotch after that. But no, we lose to France and England lose to Iceland. So my fairy tale tie with England was about as dead as the career of JLS. But still, I was proud. Martin O'Neill and Roy Keane have given us some of the best moments of my life. I mean, in the Euro 2016 qualifiers, over 2 group games, we'd somehow beaten Germany 2-1 in aggregate. Yes, world champions Germany. I mean, we'd beaten Italy 1-0 at a tournament. An Italy team coached by Antonio Conte. And the next European Championships they'd get to, they would win. But in 2016, I had hope. I had hope that the Ireland national team were in good hands. That a World Cup was only just around the corner. I mean, Christ, they're expanding the World Cup all the time. They're just letting all the teams in. Christ, in 2026, that tournament is going to consist of nearly 50 football teams. Just what? So not getting to that. It's like one of your classmates throwing a house party and inviting practically the entire school. Even the nerds who practice kissing on their dog. I mean, if you don't manage to secure an invite to that when everyone else is going, then clearly you're about as popular as Rev Boy. What? Well lads, 6 years on from Euro 2016 and look at the state of us. This is, without a doubt, the darkest moments I've ever experienced as an Ireland fan. I mean, what is this? It's disgusting. I mean, when the FIFA World Rankings first came out in 1993, we were 6th, the 6th best international football team on the planet. We are now 47th. You know, 25 places lower than Peru. We are about the width of a mouse's belly button, away from slipping out of the top 50 teams in the world. 6 years ago, I was dreaming of beating England. And the tragic thing is, we had a good chance of doing that summer. What? Don't give me that. You lost to a country named after a shop. I'm pretty sure Raheem Sterling would have been stuffed into John O'Shea's sweaty pocket and Richard Keogh would have eaten Daniel Sturridge for tea. But lads, the England rivalry. In terms of FIFA World Ranking points, we are officially closer to Mozambique, Tajikistan, Trinidad and Tobago, Kenya and the Faroe Islands than we are to Jack Grealish's team. Although, can I say for a minute, how are Latvia 135th below the Philippines and Turkmenistan? I mean, when I was a small boy, this was a team battling in the Euro 2004 group of death. Since when did they turn into football's answer to a dog poo sandwich? Although, to be honest, I am slightly comforted by the fact that we're not the only ones to fall on hard times. I mean, you know, a bit like how a homeless person must feel when they see someone else eating dead pigeon off the sidewalk. But this Stephen Kenny regime has been a living nightmare. We have failed to win any of our 12 games in the Nations League. That fills my mouth up with scrambled egg flavored puke. I'm fed up of this and I can't be the only one. I mean, you think I'm moaning? No. I'm almost positive, after watching that last night, there will have been some angry punters in a Dublin pub, not only wishing there was a managerial change, but actively wishing this was the plot of a South Park episode. Anyone, get that reference? If so, that was very dark.
Stephen Kenny says Ireland didn't deserve to lose to Luxembourg. Stephen Kenny, Ireland did not deserve to lose to Armenia. Republic players deserve better than a shootout loss.
Is that it? Is that the inspiring promise that he knows how to fix this? And no, all I see is denial. Go crazy. It's like Superman getting knocked out by a 13-year-old child and just whining that he didn't deserve it. No, what? No. Fix the problem and punch the child in the face. Why do I get the feeling that instead of analysing a defeat to Armenia about where we went wrong tactically, he probably just spent that night sitting on his couch, downing shots of whiskey whilst watching Superbad with the dog? For those who don't know, we are a country who appointed 2 managers at once, hiring both Mick McCarthy and his successor Stephen Kenny. Wait, who does that? It's like marrying somebody and then halfway through the wedding pointing to someone sitting in the aisle and declaring that that's who you leave your wife for in 18 months time. You know, when she inevitably burns the shepherd's pie and accidentally feeds the baby to the dog. We had absolutely no faith in McCarthy. The FBI might as well have put interim manager on his CV. But 0 wins in 12 Nations League matches? It's pathetic. Our previous 2 managers, Martin O'Neill and Mick McCarthy, I mean, they were both known in football and respected for doing good jobs at Celtic, Aston Villa and Wolverhampton Wanderers. And before then, we had Giovanni Trapattoni, who was eventually run out of town. I realize he looks like someone off the Pirates of the Caribbean set, you know, when they were all skeletons on the Black Pearl, but no, listen up children. This is one of the greatest managers of all time, and we had pundits on RTE sneering at a man who'd coached AC Milan, Juventus, Inter Milan, Bayern Munich, Benfica and the Italy national team. I mean, as a manager, he lifted Serie A 7 times. He'd won leagues in Germany, Portugal and even Austria as well. This man was a Champions League winning manager with Juventus. He'd also lifted it twice as a player for AC Milan. He'd won the Europa League 3 times as a coach as well. He was European Football Coach of the Year twice. Sir Alex Ferguson would have looked up to him in the 80s. And yet we tossed him away because he was too boring. I don't care if his brand of football did want to make us rub vinegar into our eyes. In the space of 9 years, we've gone from a football royalty CV to someone sacked by Bohemians, Shamrock Rovers and Dunfermline Athletic. In European competition, Trapattoni has tactically outwitted and beaten the greatest teams on planet Earth. Kenny has lost 4-0 to a team from Cyprus. He's lost to clubs from Israel, Norway, Bulgaria, Belarus, Lithuania and Estonia. I mean, the greatest result of this man's career was scraping a goalless draw with PSG at Brandywell in the UEFA Cup 16 years ago when they were poor. I mean, yeah, okay, great result, but Shelburne drew 0-0 with Deportivo La Coruña 2 years before that. But do I want Pat Fenlon in charge of my national team? No, I'd sooner chew in a fork. Don't just appoint somebody for vibes. Yes, he is quintessentially Irish, this man, because yeah, he looks like he could be a middle-aged dentist with his own private practice in Galway. I mean, he looks like somebody who hasn't missed 11 AM mass since he was 12. Someone who probably drinks Guinness, plays the Balrog, and whose favourite actor is Pat Short. But I don't care. He is not an international manager. Our game plan is to try and get Shane Duffy to score goals. What is this? Our biggest goal threat spends every match standing 95 yards away from the net. And that is our attacking threat? That's our great plan? It doesn't make sense. It's like going to battle against a bunch of orcs in Mordor and your greatest tactic is feeding sandwiches to the ducks. How is that going to work? I mean, Christ above, I would love Damien Duff to manage Ireland. The man was an unbelievable footballer, 100 caps, one of the greatest players this country's ever produced, and he seems like a humble, down-to-earth guy who I'd love to meet someday. But he manages Shelburne, and before that he was coaching the children at Celtic. Put him in the Ireland hot seat and he would probably sweat out of his face. He doesn't have the tactical knowledge, or more importantly, the necessary experience to coach international teams to a decent standard. Asking Duff to construct a game plan to try and beat Croatia, it'd be like asking a bishop to punch a nun in the face. He's not gonna do it. Duff is not the answer right now. I would love him to be the answer, but he's not. But just like with Fabio Capello with England, Trapattoni was a bored Italian winner who everyone ridiculed for being too old and too stern. Well, Kenny, I don't care if he does tell jokes on the bus. This man could have the charisma of a circus clown, but he's proven to be so far out of his depth that he might actually need some water wings. I'll admit it, I got carried away last autumn. It was a good run of form, 4 clean sheets in a row, and 10 goals scored against Azerbaijan, Qatar, Portugal and Luxembourg. I mean, we didn't score any goals against Portugal, but still, we even nicked a draw with Belgium in a friendly, but when it really matters, we've been horrendous. Losing to Armenia and Ukraine's second string. I mean, last year we lost to Luxembourg and we couldn't score a goal in 2 matches against Wales, or in 2 games against Finland. In the entire history of the Nations League, we have found the back of the net twice. That sounds like something you'd say about San Marino or Gibraltar. I mean, where have our players gone? Our 10 outfield players on the pitch last night. I mean, here's the clubs they play for: Brighton and Hove Albion, Sheffield United, Queen's Park Rangers, Anderlecht, West Brom, Rotherham, Derby County. Oh yeah, and Cyrus Christie doesn't have a club, and yet he was starting on the right wing. This man is officially unemployed, and yet he can still waltz his way into an Ireland shirt. Well, we do have a player who, when he was younger, was a goal machine being fed assists by Paul Pogba. That sounds wonderful, but it's Will Keane, the modern day Francis Jeffers. Yeah, I mean, a goal machine at youth level, but honestly, he's his level of League One. Yes, I know he had his Weetabix with Wigan last season. 27 goals is great. But considering his twin brother plays for England, I mean, you just know this guy thinks the Irish badge is the second choice. You just know, come the World Cup, he's gonna be on a plane to Qatar wearing an England shirt with David Beckham on the back. I'm sick of this. The Irish national team is an absolute shambles. I know the quality isn't there, but still. It's not like we had world beaters Euro 2016 either. Our most creative player was into his 9th season at Norwich. I mean, we still had a 40-year-old Shay Given in the squad. And we had Daryl Murphy playing up front. I used to think it could never get worse than the Steve Staunton regime. Well, guess what? Losing to Luxembourg and Armenia is worse. One of those is a sackable offence. What do you think 2 is? Something needs to change. Go out there and get a pragmatic, experienced coach, because I'm sick of watching this. Dump Kenny and just go and make an ambitious signing. Shuck a fat paycheck under Sean Dyche's nose. Even if the FAI doesn't have the money, I don't know, rob a bank then. Go steal from old ladies down the bus stop. Please steal from the church donation box. Just anything. Because I'm getting desperate. It's a lovely idea to have your national manager be the same nationality as the country. Yeah, that's a fantasy. That's how you get Gareth Southgate as the England manager. But who else is there? What Irish coaches are there? Roy Keane? Chris Hughton? No, I mean, look at Belgium. They didn't pair their golden generation with a Belgian coach. No. They got Roberto Martinez and he's done an okay job. So just get in, Dyche. Just go get him. Do it, because honestly, I can't handle this anymore. Anyway, that's what do you think? Let me know. What do you think of the state of the Irish team? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe. As always, I'll talk to you in a while.